Well, alright, last time, guys, on Tyranny, we had spoken to the Archons and had made our loyalties, pretty much even. Since we're not too sure, I would like to kind of, rise above them as, like, maybe an Archon of, like, kind of judgment, as the Fatebinders kind of are. I think that's a neat role to play, but I'm sure we're going to be forced into choosing one side or the other. I mean, you have to choose. It's in most games. So, now that we've delivered the edict, the time remaining until Kairos' Day of Swords will appear next to the current date on the navigation bar. The terms of the edict must be met, or everyone in Vendrian's Well will die. So. Oh. Verse looks at us. How did you do that? Do what? Back in the Archon's war tent, you cast an edict as casually as reading a supply shipment. How did you do that? Well, I've done it before. You cast the Edict of Fire on the Vellum Citadel. I had heard about it. How Kairos' anger raised a volcano from under the sage's own fortress. That was some impressive work. Conquest, that was me, all right. Well, call me impressed. Considering that you've read the words of Kairos more than once, I'm surprised that you're even alive to tell of it. Your vocal cords should have been turned to ash by now. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just worth recognizing that what you've done. Not only are you Tunon's Fatebinder, you're the mouthpiece of the Overlord. Gives me plenty of reason to stick around. You're going places, and I want to see where they lead. If you say so, I have some questions for you.
What do you need?
What are your thoughts on the disfavored? A warren of self-entitled children so wound up in delusions of honor they're likely to hang themselves by their own high standards. I wish they had stayed in the Northern Empire where they belonged. Then we could get some real work done in the tiers. Do you think the disfavored have a chance to succeed in the tiers? Speaking as one of the exceptions, most of the tiersmen are pushovers. The people of Stalwart seem capable enough, though I have my doubts. You might call them the disfavored's best challenge. Even if they succeed, it might be too late to redeem themselves. The chorus might have already impacted the conquest more than the disfavored have, or ever likely will. What are your thoughts on the battle strategies? They've really got something with their phalanx maneuver, a formation built on holding still, moving slowly forward, and hoping that no one slips in the mud. At best, the disfavored are tired of using the same tactic over and over again. At worst, the enemy knows what to expect out of them. Scarlet Furies are dancers. We hear the music of battle and organize ourselves into works of killing art. Every fight is as hot and passionate as the last, with no room for stale routine. Alright, so let's ask about something else. Like a dueler?
Fatebinder, I treat my craft like my mother treated her hagsberry pie. I don't give the recipe to just anyone. Come to think of it, I still don't know what was in that damn pie.
Want to ask about our travels.
What did you have in mind?
What do you think of our present circumstances? Well, there's an edict hanging over our heads. As far as I'm concerned, the incompetence of the disfavored got us into this mess, and it will take the fury of the Scarlet Chorus to get us out of it. In other words, nothing ever changes. Alright, well, let's stop talking to her. So we have some people we can talk to, obviously, for some different quests. Maybe some people we can talk to for different equipment. Isotanus curses the air as a blade of thin iron breaks in half beneath his hammer. Repairing weapons with scrap isn't exactly why it got into this craft, but our supplies are spent. Why not forge bronze? Bronze will do in a pinch, but don't get me wrong. It can take a beating and get bent back into shape, unlike the stubborn iron we have here. He glances at a pile of his work with dread, and we always have plenty of tin and copper lying around, so supplies aren't the problem. It is a rare smith who can churn out military-grade bronze consistently. More often than not, it comes out soft. Look around the camp. We're garbing the Legion head to toe in iron because it's cheaper and easier to produce for the masses. Couldn't do that with bronze. They call the disfavored the Iron Legion for some reason. Strategy and skill may be our backbone, but our claws are made of iron. The good stuff that comes from the smiths in Lethian's Crossing. That's a place we actually secured for the disfavored. You're no stranger to that, are you, Fatebinder? He spares you a subtle wink. Iron isn't just a symbol of our strength and unity. It means friendship in some circles, as you yourself have seen. Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus officers appealed to us for access to iron weapons. I gave it to the disfavored. You mentioned an iron shortage. I'm afraid so. The last shipment sent down the Mittani went missing near Echo Call Crossing, and I'm afraid we won't be seeing any more now until that valley is sealed. Forge-bound iron is Tunon's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Keep your voice down. Isotanus flinches and lowers his own. Graven Ash doesn't want to cause a panic or pass the information to the Vendrian guard. Best case scenario, the iron tumbled off a boat and is rusting on a riverbend. Worst case, it ends up in enemies' hands. If I find myself an echo call, I suppose I can keep an eye out. I appreciate that, as does the great general, more than you might guess. Maybe he isn't quick to offer his thanks to outsiders, but I know he'll be grateful for your help. It would be a boon to the war effort if our iron was recovered. You can trust me to handle this. I knew that Tunon wouldn't have dispatched you without good reason. The court isn't exactly known for gambling when the stakes are high. He glances to a crate beside him and points to a small set of notches on the wood. You see that? That is how we can tell apart our iron shipments from the rest. Inconspicuous so people don't go snooping around. You'll want to keep your eye out for these. Good hunting. Soldier and Guild Apprentice. Both of those are not met. So let's see his wares and see what we can find. I have no idea. And this shit is expensive. What's this? Camping supplies. Oh, we already have 5. Okay. Yeah, we can't afford any of this. Oops. Yeah, can't afford any of it. Let's see how good it is compared to what we have. Parry is way better. Dodge is better. Endurance is much better. Wow. Okay. Oh, it's comparing it to my shield as well, so has a little bit longer recovery, but way better stats. So yeah, everything here looks like it's definitely just a bit better. Okay. So how do we camp? Yeah, let's rest. I don't know if we can rest somewhere for free, but I guess we'll find that out a little bit later. Alright, so you... Yeah, we don't want to speak with her. Let's go with dodge. Make her a little bit more agile.
Can't do that.
Alright, no one to talk to over here. Who's this? Iron Marshal Erinios. Alright. Don't just coddle the impact. Push back your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal Erinios, field commander of his favorite, pounds her fists in the air as she calls out the warriors in the training field. I set eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat as she clears her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. It was mentioned you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have brigades massing along the Placid, Echo Call, and Little Tooth crossings. The Vendrian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-prong attack. I have no right to give you orders, but we will all die to Kairos' edict should we fail. So I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of your help. I have no time for this. So you would just as soon watch the edict come to fruition? Any idea what happens when Kairos' Day of Sword arrives? We will be stricken by plague and rot slowly, or maybe our blood will catch fire, or we'll have a cheery little dance to honor our failure to the Overlord. She shakes her head with a snort. I cannot compel you to follow orders. Maybe when you come to your senses you'll realize you have better things to do than sit idle until the edict kills us all. This is Barrack of the Stone Shields. The Iron Marshal motions to a disfavored soldier. Whether or not you intend to help us, I want to put a body between Tunon's agent and any Vendrian arrows. The binder has no taste for battle? Barrack's voice rumbles with laughter. And it would seem no taste for duty. If you want to prove me wrong, muster to our banner outside the crossing. We've gained some fear with him, and gained minor wrath with the disfavored. I ask that Barrack accompany you to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Echo Call Crossing is now unlocked on the world map. Hey, we have to go there for the blacksmith anyways. Barrack, you've been without a cohort since the last battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. She plants her hands on her hips and speaks in clipped official terms. Ash has assigned you to the Fatebinder's service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Barrack regards Iron Marshal in oppressive silence. That's an order, Barrack. She shakes her head and sighs, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I'd rather travel on my own. I do mind, but I'll allow it anyway, if only so I can put a large object between myself and the enemy. She regards you with a perplexed frown. Barrack is indeed here for your protection. If you don't find him suitable for duty, you are free to discharge him from service. The disfavored are like really genuine, which is nice. I do like to see that. Alright, Barrack. Barrack turns to face you, nodding silently. A short sigh escapes as he waits for you to speak.
What can I do for you?
What can you tell me of the tiers? Uphill both ways and full of dumb sods. I learned some history and training, and I've been here for a few years, but I'm no expert. What do you know of the Younger Realms? Before we marched on the bastard tier, I recall Graven Ash giving us a speech as we stood assembled at Fort Resolution. He told us that the Younger Realms lacked the sense to make a stand against us. I don't think I need to point out the average tiersman is just plainly inferior to the sons and daughters of the North. For every one of ours they kill, we must drag 1.5 scores bleeding into the soil with us. It didn't help that they're afraid of magic, and relied on the battlefield prowess to stage a defense. What is your assessment of the local forces? There was a time early in the war when I would have feared the Younger Realms working together. Imagine that. Once I saw the modest scope of their defensive, I knew that they would be easily outclassed. They couldn't even rally their best to make a competent stand. Tell me of the Avendrian Guard. They used to be the Queen's Royal Army of Vendrian. I guess defeat inclined them to a shorter name. We crushed them back in 429. I'm proud to say I took part in the decisive battle. You know the rest. A year after we fought them and conquered, thousands of Vendrian Oathbreakers murdered the garrison and declared themselves free of the Overlord's rule. And tell me about the Unbroken Union of Stalwart. May they rot in the decrepitude of their fallen realm. Much as it pains me to admit it, in all the battles of the tiers, the Unbroken have been the only foe worthy to meet the disfavored in battle. The Unbroken value tradition, just as we do. Stalwart was never lost a war on their own soil, a reputation they take quite seriously. It is fortunate that Stalwart has poor relations with all its neighbors. The rest of the tiers will not come to their aid, so as bravely as they fight, their end is inevitable. And the Bronze Brotherhood? Mercenaries from the free cities. The chorus needed extra muscle, and you can always mint new rings. Hard to believe the tiersmen turned on each other for mere loops of metal. The Bronze Brotherhood worshipped the Scourges. Yes, those monsters from the old walls. The mercenaries are grown adults that willingly admire a magical abomination. Read into that what you will. That said, it should surprise no one that the Bronze Brotherhood eventually wanted more than just rings and turned on their contract. Kairos now considers them an enemy, which is for the best. The Overlord needs a better class of combatants.
Go on, Fatebinder.
What do you know of the Beastmen? They drilled us on Beastmen combat before the invasion, but did little to prepare us. The local savages are lacking in brains, hygiene, and the ability to arm themselves, yet the prime hunters of their species are formidable. Aside from being rapacious killers, the Beastmen make good haulers and laborers, once you've killed the half that don't follow orders, that is. Enough about the tiers. You seem like more than a capable fighter. I trained with the spear and shield in my youth, but gave it up the day I earned disfavored iron. I can still throw with some accuracy, but it's a challenge these days. He knocks twice on his helmet. Why? Are you interested in a sparring session? I heard rumor that Ash has an unbeatable sword-fighting technique. Nothing is unbeatable. However, I'm not of mind to share Ash's training to an outsider. I mean no offense. Show me how a northerner would impale a wild boar. Take no offense from this, but I would prefer to keep my fighting techniques private for the time being. Okay. Well, that's cool. You can learn some things from them. Let's see what he has. No stances available. Weapon sets. He has disfavored iron sword. What's this? Iron tolling. That's a combo ability. Barrack and the Fatebinder both bang on their shields and armor, harassing an enemy. The target is compelled to attack Barrack for a short time, while the Fatebinder's mocking gestures leave the enemy confused and off guard. The foe loses all ability to parry and dodge until they recover their senses. Ah, that's cool. Once per encounter. Striking iron. Ah, so this has more damage if they're already engaged by the target enemy. Good. Marshberry. It's like a quick little buff for some defenses, it looks like. And some healing potions. And that's it. That's all he has. He has the Edict of Execution, which gives him +1 resolve. +1 resolve. To her as well. How about to me? +1 resolve. Okay. So, that is Barrick, which is cool. So now we are 3. Can I rearrange like the order?
I live for the vanguard.
That's cool. Barrick! Let's go, man. You've gained favored with the disfavored. That still cracks me up. It's probably going to crack me up for the rest of the game. By Kairos' iron anus, it's the fire starter. And those swine finks in the chorus told me you were a pile of ash. The massive soldier advances, arms spread to grapple you in embrace. Salute, Graven Ash protects. Latching his arms around your body, Sevius lifts you into the air with his embrace. The North never forgets a friend in need. He places you back down as effortlessly as he scooped you into the air, letting out a soft chuckle. Our little camp is overrun with these southern lepers that the voices adopts along the way. Sevius looks out toward the brace of choirmen loitering by the edge of camp. Probably half of them were the fuckers we didn't kill the first time through this valley. Troubling thought. I'm liking this game more and more. Graven Ash doesn't tell me everything, but I know you're here on official court business. Iron Marshal's running the logistics on this one. I'm just playing slave driver and making sure the patrols stay on schedule. What is it you need? I heard that you overheard you asking the Earthshaker where the reinforcements have gone. Is there a problem? I'm afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshakers, was supposed to arrive with a group of his most competent spellslingers to help break this stalemate. I don't know what's holding up their arrival, and that worries me. If you were at all inclined to lend a hand, we could use some arcane support. I could lend a hand. Northern Clearing is now unlocked on the world map. Could you? I knew that Tunon's agent wouldn't fail us in time of need. I'll mark the last known site of our Earthshaker reinforcements on your map. Good hunting, Fatebinder. Why do you think the siege is delayed so long? It should have been over real quick and simple. The first cohort arrived in the valley and went right for the kill. But that was before we knew the Vendrian Guard had sages and that water witch on their side. So we gained this because we have favor 1? A bigger problem is the Scarlet Chorus. They eagerly conscript the Vendrian Guard, but I have no proof of this. But it seems they do very little to keep a watchful eye on these drafted tiersmen. They are often sent out on patrol, and we suspect that they use this opportunity to escape back to the Vendrian Guard. Every chorus conscript has a choice. Life under Kairos or death under the army's boots. By all means, feel free to cut down those who choose the latter. We won't be offended. Just so we don't mistake each other, I know what I'm saying carries an implication of treachery. I'm not making a formal accusation before Tunon's agent. I'm just voicing my gut opinion on the matter. The two armies haven't worked well together in years. Why do you think that is? Come on, Binder. Seems like asking why beasts stink. The disfavored are only too eager to deliver Kairos' peace to the tiers, while the Scarlet Chorus bring only mayhem in their wake. You can tell me the Voices of Nerat has a plan, and I'll take your word for it, but the chorus sure seems to blunder around, never moving with purpose as we do. Verse says, I wonder if we've been fighting the same war, soldier. I've seen Ash yank his precious soldiers away from more battles than he's won. If you want to call that progress, be my guest. Unless we can find a way to work as one, I fear that the Scarlet Chorus will step in front of Graven Ash's strategies at every turn. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like the Voices of Nerat is here to amuse himself, while the rest of us are here to do our job. Alright, so we got a new quest, Earthshaker Reinforcements. We got to go to the Northern Clearing. Let's see what else we can dig up here. Bitter Quip. Rona. Talk with her. Got no time to chitter. Pentamore? Hail to you, guardian of the law. The man dressed in the merchant finery greets you with a smile. If you have a few excess rings, best unburden yourself before battle. You know that the disfavored suffer a merchant in their camp. That must be a man selling only the finest provisions and armaments. He points to his collections of shields, rations, satchels, wineskins, and other sundries. Take a look and see if something interests you. Let me see your wares. Pentabore rubs his hands, eyes alight. Let me see if I can find something you like. So, we have some one-shot buffs here, maybe. Cheese. I mean, that's like shitty buffs. +1 to a stat, okay. Sigil of Frost, which we already have this. That's 5 fucking golden bronze rings, damn. Blood Moss. Immunity to bleeding. And camping supplies. And then just some bronze weaponry, which are out of our league for cost. What does this dude have? Ooh, nice. There's some good stuff. How's his sword? Is it two-handed? One-handed. Does he have a shield? Yes, disfavored. Wow. Well, damn straight. So, are they level 2? Yeah, I'm level 1. I need just a little bit more level here. So, I guess when it was saying, like, I was gaining experience, like 22 subterfuge experience, it was telling me where I was gaining the experience from, because I had that skill at, like, a certain rank. Bitter quip, glory to the voices of Narat, projecting a salutation for all to hear. The grinning blood chanter raps his staff against the ground as you approach. Fatebinder Warlord Mal, I presume? His smile quickly retreats, giving way to a sour scowl. I am Bitter Quip. I am here as the emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. What can you tell me of the Scarlet Chorus? The chorus is the... Oops, guys, I'm so sorry. The future of the tears. That's what it looked like you were saying. The doctrine of strength speaks to me, and I answered its call, as did some of my arcane peers. I took to the chorus almost instantly. Unlike most, I cried not for the life of comfort lost to me. My magic invokes fear and terror, and I easily established my dominance over a pack in my early days in the chorus. If you're so curious about it all, perhaps you should visit our camp and see for yourself. Sounds as if you really like the voices of Narat. He blinks several times and scowls, saying nothing. And what is your role in the chorus? I am a blood chanter. My magic can turn the will of man and the tide of battle. I have held command for 3 years now, though being forced to keep an eye on the disfavored is not the reward I had envisioned for my service thus far. Tell me about the voices of Narat. He is supreme commander and public servant, he who sets us free but directs all. He smiles, his face turning flush. The voices of Narat is the epitome of what of each of us can be, a magician without equal, and the leader of uncountable numbers. The voices and the chorus are one. The conquering, expanding, growing, changing, always stronger. Glory to the voices. Well, propaganda guy. Oh, I can't wait to get out of this camp, eh? So there's Lucia. Marcus. I am Lucia. This is Marcus. The disfavored points to the armored soldier next to her, and you must be the Fatebinder. We've been assigned to babysit, she says. From under her helmet you can hear an audible scoff. We've been assigned to babysit. Marcus, assigned to your hospitality, while you remain on disfavored ground. If you should need a place to rest... Ah! So here's where we can rest for free. We can make the necessary preparations. How have your skills fared in battle against the Oathbreakers? Every battle is a reminder of the Legion's superiority. The Oathbreakers have plenty of heart, but nothing to beat our northern values and Graven Ash's love. If you ever want to enjoy that feeling, I can spare you the time of day to cross iron. Marcus, I'd like some training. Of course, Fatebinder! Oh, so we can train this. Ranks trained this level, 0 out of 5. So you can train me in one-handed weapons, in parry. You can train him in one-handed weapons, and it costs us the rings. Oh wow, it's really cheap for her. Is it because she has 0? Yeah, that must be it. Because it's costing like the current amount we have for our level. Interesting. Okay. Welcome back. Because you asked, you've been a real asset to the disfavor since you arrived. Not that anyone expected it to be different. What about Lucia? Finally, some fun to break up the monotony of the siege. Thrown weapons, dodge, and athletics. Interesting. So if we have some money, we can increase our skills. I wonder if we can increase them, like, forever. Well, alright. This is just the disfavored camp, it would seem. That's an exit out to the world map. Here is the tent of the Archons. I am guessing... Isotanus is the person we got the blacksmith quest from. Let's get out of here. We'll go back to the world map. Or maybe the Scarlet Chorus is out here. So I did want to kind of like measure up both sides a little bit. It'd be nice to actually make them work together to reunify like the armies. I'm not even sure if an ending like that is in the cards, but So, Judge's Day 18, the Span of Swords, 431 tiara. So, we have to beat the Edict. Let's go... Oh, there's the Scarlet Chorus camp. It's certainly the base of operations, so let's go there. Your path is blocked by a small group of Vendrian Guard. You can go no further. So, random encounters are a thing in this game. Okay. You are waylaid as you try to sleep.
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
A woman's voice booms from atop a nearby outcropping. Flashes of aquamarine body paint peek out from under her loose-fitting traveler's garb, and her outfit is festooned in braids and knots of sailor's line. Flanked on either side by warriors dressed in Vendrian Guard regalia, the woman leans on an elaborate bladed staff pulsing with arcane energy. A swath of blue fabric. The blue flag is a symbol of diplomacy and truce, recognized across most of the known world. So I guess because of lore, I know this. Yep, lore. Says right there. Aquamarine. They're the traditional trappings of the School of Tides. According to the Fatebinder Regalis, the majority of the school fled before coming of Kairos. The remainder were last seen during the first campaign of Vendrian's Well. Okay.
In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
The woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in a ready stance, their nerves clearly on edge. In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I abide by this truth.
As is our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos' way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
One of the leaders in the attack of the Edgering Runes, Tarkus Deimos, was subdued. That's right, and he was going to be turned over to the voices of Nerat. So we can lie, and Ebb will gain average loyalty. Tarkus Deimos is with the chorus now. She'll gain fear with us. He is found at the Edgering Runes. We let him go. That's a lie. Sorry, that means nothing to me. Assuming he's our prisoner, what would you offer in exchange?
We would offer you 5 choirmen that got lost on patrol. They're healthy, got other limbs too.
Choirmen?
I would not have us barter with Oathbreakers. Certainly not for anything less than disfavored lives.
You say there's something worth less than a disfavored life. Call me intrigued.
So I would gain major wrath with Tunon if I just attacked her. The Adjudicator. He's an impartial, sober creature, wholly obsessed with justice and order. Tarkus Deimos is with the chorus
And
now.
if we see him again, it will have to be as enemies.
She looks to the warriors on the side, shaking her head.
If I may make one more inquiry. What of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
Another dead Oathbreaker. Whomever you will ask about next, I assure you, nothing can be done. He is dead. She nods slowly, saying nothing for a long
My
moment.
apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
I have some questions for
We
you.
should be socializing with Oathbreakers.
I will entertain them as best I can. After all, understanding is the only hope we have. What is it you wish to know?
Why do you resist Kairos? What are you trying to
I grew
save?
up without my knee bent to Kairos, and if I'm going to bow to someone, let it be another Tearsman. We've ruled ourselves just fine for centuries, so we'll give our lives so that our sons and daughters might rule themselves.
The younger realms are beset with constant battle. You'd prefer that to Kairos' order?
You make conflict sound like a bad thing. Yes, the younger realms saw frequent battles, but it was never this wholesale slaughter like we've seen of late. No Tearsman ever cast an edict on the soil, or forced prisoners to kill each other, or butchered beastmen tribes.
only your daughters are really free in the Tears. Why fight against Kairos' equality?
There's freedom, then there's trusting idiots with power. Give a man 1,000,000 marauders, he'll lose sleep worrying over his neighbor's 1,000. I prefer my realms ruled by the braver sex. For centuries we've left the lands to the women, and the seas to the men. And we did plenty fine until Kairos came around.
But a mage like you would not be subject to the same such superstition and fear under Kairos' reign.
I doubt life is any better sworn to some mad archon. I'd rather stand with my fellow Tearsmen. Or, I suppose, stand immediately behind them in the event of an attack.
At that remark, the soldiers flanking her exchange shocked looks. Ebb turns her focus to her compatriots.
Yeah, you heard me. Way things were years back, you'd all be calling me a water witch and conspiring to sell me out to the nearest sage. Just because I'm helping you stop Kairos doesn't mean I've forgotten the hospitality of ages past.
And people wonder why the Tearsmen could never unite in time to fight back. It's refreshing to see that some things never change.
What makes you think you have a chance?
No, we don't. Those who believed Kairos could be stopped all died years ago, in the first wave of fighting. It's not about the hope of victory. It's about the hope of inspiring others. It is very likely we will fall here in Vendrian's Well. But perhaps others will arise elsewhere.
How did you and your friends overthrow the garrison?
I would joke that the voices of Nerat left the gate unlatched, but dozens of warriors lost their lives taking the citadel. There was no secret to it. We simply attacked with speed and certainty at a time when the Archons were elsewhere in the Tears. The Scarlet Chorus had a rout, and what few disfavored soldiers were present made an impressive showing. But they were surrounded and overwhelmed once the chorus fled.
Who's in charge of this insurrection?
Listen to you, thinking just like the Overlord wants you to think. There always has to be a person in charge, or things don't make sense. Well, we don't answer to anyone. We are each of us sons and daughters of the Tears, and take this task upon ourselves freely. But Captain Tarkus Ari, former Falksman of Queen Vendrian Alanta, is the voice we trust when we seek unanimity.
I assume Tarkus Ari and Tarkus Demos are relations.
Yes. Deimos was Ari's brother. We were certain he was dead, but the captain takes family seriously. So I volunteered to find some answers. And now here we are.
Were there prisoner swaps in the
That is
past?
our way, Binder. Here in the south, only thugs and bandits kill prisoners. The younger realms may be guilty of constant fighting, but we never slay each other when the battle's long over. We're not about to change that now. As a rule, Kairos' forces haven't been keen on swapping prisoners. But I know our disfavored prisoners aren't prisoners anymore. I just assumed they were swapped for some of our own. Fair enough. But now a question for you. The Edict. I can feel its magic coursing through the air. Everyone can. But those of us enlightened to the currents of magic feel it most. The wording of the Edict. What was it?
It was a curse on the valley. Those disloyal to Kairos will slowly weaken and die. Now let's tell her the truth. Let's see how she handles it.
In the name of the vaunted North, the will of Kairos should be delivered with blade and hammer, not to the ears of oathbreakers and compromisers.
Curious. You did say all in the valley. So the edict will affect Kairos' forces? This is most unexpected.
Correct.
That is most troubling. So either the soldiers come to destroy and kill us, or the edict does the work. I suppose we should be so honored the Overlord is taking no chances on us. I've another question for you, if you will entertain it.
Are we really standing here and chatting with Oathbreakers? It's hard to watch. Like cuddling a goat you're going to kill for dinner.
Ask your question, Ebb.
When I was young, my parents told me the Tears were special, and the Overlord's edicts and armies could never touch us. Seems I've been told a hefty sum of lies. So answer this honestly for me, please. Is it true that Tunon's fate binders can smell truth from falsehood?
That's true. Falsehood on parchment is an especially rank smell to endure.
Curious. Then I would recommend against reading the work of the sages. You'd no doubt find it an offense to the senses. And Kairos' edicts. I have heard the sages speak at length that some of the edicts elsewhere in the world have been broken. How is this?
It is based on the wording of the proclamation. If Kairos provides a clause along the edict end, that clause can be satisfied. The Overlord has some control over the edict, over how the edict lingers, but Kairos only knows the exact details. Glare silently. That's like always an option. I refuse to answer. I refuse to answer. Yeah, let's use lore.
Ah, so some edicts are forever. The rest are, as long as Kairos has in mind? Needless to say, Kairos' magic is unlike anything we've seen in any Archon. And one more mildly self-indulgent question, but I simply must know. Kairos, male or female?
I honestly do not know for certain.
Really? You don't know either? You work for the Overlord, but you don't know if she, or he, has an innie or an outie?
No, I don't know, but I have it on good authority the Imperial Harem is stocked with both. Would you feel better or worse knowing you lost to a man or a woman? Why does this
You
matter?
speak true. It ultimately matters not. My apologies. The question now seems rather foolish. You must remember, Kairos was just a horror story from distant lands for much of our lives. We have many unanswered questions. You'll forgive, I hope, the questions. The Overlord and his Archons used to be things of legend. Now they're everyday maladies, and I'm eager to separate the truth from the lies I've been told by house and guild.
So we gained some favor with them.
In accordance to our most ancient customs, let us depart in honorable accord. May peace find you, Fatebinder.
Cool. Well, all right. So that was an introduction to the Vendrian Guard. And interesting to know that they have like kind of a sexist division amongst them. Let's keep going. 32 minutes. That's right. Everybody, let's go. That's right. Whoa, are you level 2? Alright, level up. So now we can see how level ups work. With each level, you can increase one of your character's attributes. Each of these attributes provides benefits. Increasing an attribute costs 1 point until the attribute score reaches 19. To raise an attribute requires 2 points at that point. So we have 1 point. Attack, ability strength, endurance defense, plus 3% ability and spell cooldown. Bonus health and will defense. Let's go with some attack. That'll be good. Yeah, let's save. Anything else? Or I guess maybe I have to train skills with money. Right? Find the right people to do that to help me. I'm guessing here. Yeah, I don't see anything else, so that's that. Let's keep going. These are chorus grounds. State your business or get lost. The guard places her hands on her belt as you approach, gripping the hilt of a blade. Past this point is chorus territory, and you don't look like someone's conscript. You sure you're in the right place? I am Warlord Mal, Fatebinder of Tunon. I am here to vanquish the Oathbreakers. You know, I think I was told to expect somebody, but you seem too ugly to be him or her. Why exactly should I let you in? He's an allied warrior, my guard. Oh, and more importantly, what's this hulking ton of iron doing here? Looking at Barrick. You don't want to make an issue of this. That his favorite thought I needed a minder, and I don't want to hurt his feelings. Barrick, gain fear. Let's do that. Berate me if you must, earn the favor of the reeking mob, but we would be better served not wasting our time appealing to every lackey in camp. Try taking off your helmet if you want to pout. Go on, we'll wait. Verse. Horde, fine, just come on in. I'm sure the Fury will get you if you're really a problem. Scroll sits here, glowing with mystical energy. We learned a new spell core, the Sigil of Illusion. Those who specialize in... Oh, okay, let's see what it does. And we'll express it with focused intent. Spectral Blur. So it is a buff. Interesting. Magic sigils. You discovered a new sigil. Magic in the world of Tyranny comes from learning how to perfectly scribe sigils and empower them with energy. I like it. Let's assign it to everybody. Graze deflection, hit deflection. Nice. That'll be a cool little spell. The Fifth Eye. The Binder of Tunon arrives. Squealing with teenager's timber, the Fifth Eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel in need of a trim. And we just finished having a bit of sport with some captives. But worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Dressed in the bronze-red regalia of the Crimson Spears, the Fifth Eye beckons to you to stand close, wagging a blood-spattered glove. You've gained wrath with the Scarlet Chorus. Have you come here to order the Scarlet Chorus to die so that the disfavored might live? That was how you played it back in Vellum's Citadel, after all. Typical reasoning of a Northman. Disfavored lives matter more than conscripts, no? Now that you have issued this edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Chirps of laughter emanate from under his mask. I trust you are getting your warriors ready for battle. We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the Citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not only their nest. The Fifth Eye wags a hand in the air with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the Outer Valley, and unless we deal with the second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. You have a large force, and for all these weeks you've let the enemy move freely throughout the valley? I'm hurt. Insult my manners or maturity, but do not insinuate that I sit idle when there's blood to be shed. The Crimson Spear claps his fists together. We have dealt with countless Oathbreakers, but one group remains at large, despite our best efforts. Captain Pellox's crew consistently evades or kills our own gangs. So you need help taking out these Oathbreakers. And while a good old-fashioned slaughter would be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to ours. That's pretty cool. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims she can lead us to Vendrian Guard's secondary camp, though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Varia Kell. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears, and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try and take their captain, and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. Why not just ask the Archon of Secrets? I thought he could interrogate anything. An unintelligible mutter escapes from under the Fifth Eye's mask as he postures stiffens. I do not tell the voices of Nerat what to do, nor do I question his motives. The Archon is busy plotting the efficient destruction of these Oathbreakers, and is not to be disturbed. Verse says, I've known the Archon to demand personal interrogations, but it's only ever been with leaders, mages, or others of great merit. I've often imagined the interrogation process is not to be taken lightly. Perhaps it's downright exhausting for Nerat. Are there going to be a few more conscripts going to change anything at this point? It seems wiser to just kill them. But, the Fifth Eye pauses, his body frozen in a shrug, but that is our way. We offer redemption even to those who have harmed us. Besides, I'm not truly interested in any old conscripts, but rather one specific one, their leader. Captain Pellox Florian is one of the finest warriors in the Vendrian Guard have left. It is double the injury to take from your foe, while adding to your own clan. I don't belong to Archon Nerat. What's my help worth? You wound me, Fatebinder. The Fifth Eye places his hand over his chest, feigning the start of a swoon, and I thought the joy of working for the illustrious Archon of Secrets would be reward enough. But you need to be missing half your head to think an expert works for free. Tell me, what will make this worth your while? Faithful service is reward enough, so long as my efforts are recognized. So we gain some favor with Tunon and with Scarlet Chorus. My price is knowledge. The Archon of Secrets knows a great deal of magic, does he not? Are you sure I can't interest you with pleasure slaves instead?